Good evening. Welcome to the Yorktown Central School District Board of Education meeting for September 12, 2022. Can I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss contractual negotiations and matters specific to the employment history of a particular individual under the Taylor Law?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Can I have a motion to go back into public session?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good evening. Welcome to the Yorktown Central School District Board of Education meeting for September 12, 2022. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence for our armed forces and those in our community have lost loved ones, especially the mother-in-law of Lucia Mills.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just want to apologize for coming out late of executive session. It ran over. Yvette, public comment. Did anybody sign up? No. Ron, we're going to go right to the superintendent's report then?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the 2022-23 school year. Our last meeting prior to this one was August 29th, just prior to the return of our students. And I'm happy to share with our board and with our community that the opening of schools was a success. So many wonderful, wonderful experiences during the opening days of school. Students coming back into their classes, getting into routines safely and happily. It's been rejuvenating. It's been energizing to see the students return to our classes, to the classrooms, to see each other. This, mind you, is the first time we're opening schools since the 2020 school year, where students have started the school year without masks and with very few restrictions in place. So certainly a welcomed change for our reopening. We had a very busy summer, which I shared during the last superintendent's report at the August 29th meeting. I would encourage you to review that video, which again is posted to our website if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the construction projects that took place this summer. The student reviews of the spaces have been overwhelmingly positive, and just so grateful to the Board of Education, to the community, and to our administration for all of the work that went into renovating the spaces, to our internal O&M staff. And I just want to quickly acknowledge the O&M staff and our custodians for all of their hard work. The guidance suite and so many other spaces within our district were renovated with our own in-house staff, and their work is just second to none. The guidance space is more inviting at the high school, it's more welcoming, and it just really is such a transformed environment for our students. With regard to just some opening day items and opening weeks items, I wanted to share transportation is moving along well. There are always those beginning of year bumps that we have, and we've had them since prior to my arrival. Long after my departure, there will be transportation delays the first weeks of school. Our drivers and our staff have one priority: to transport our children safely. That's always number one. That will always be number one. So the dismissal, we appreciate your patience as the bus shows up to the stop late, and we understand that it's sometimes more than 15, 20, or 30 minutes late. Our number one priority is to make sure that every child gets on the correct bus and to get off at the correct stop, and that they're met by an adult, depending on the grade level, they're met by an adult at the bus stop. That does take time the first couple weeks of school, so we appreciate your patience. We're still in that cycle where the transportation runs and the PM are delayed. I'm happy to report that the transportation arrival, for the morning arrival, has been on time and has worked out quite well. With regard to the bus fleet, we have improved busing in our bus fleet. The vehicles are newer, many vehicles are newer. We have one electric bus that's in service for this school year. We're looking forward to seeing how that progresses throughout the school year. We also welcome so many new faculty and staff to the district, 22 new teachers to our school and clinicians to our district, and we welcome them and look forward to a promising career here in Yorktown. We were able to recruit and attract some of the best talent in our region and outside of our region. There are a lot of changes in the way of curriculum and instruction. Teaching and learning is what we do. We have new courses in data science and engineering at our high school. We have a Bright program, which is just a wonderful support for students who may be reluctant to come to school, and that's another terrific service. My appreciation to our PPS department for all of their work in bringing this program to Yorktown. We've made so many enhancements to our literacy curriculum at the elementary levels, so many with regard to science and our continued implementation of Science 21 and our continued implementation of Into Math as our primary resource in the elementary and middle schools. And again, ongoing curriculum development and implementation, including the new computer science standards that we're focused on. Our Board of Education areas of focus I shared previously, but I'll just reiterate them. What's the next level of our work in ESTEAM? ESTEAM has done some wonderful things for our school district. Our students have demonstrated some wonderful outcomes in an ESTEAM environment and approach to teaching and learning. Our school district has been recognized regionally, across the state, nationally for our work. But the question begs, what's the next level of our work? Where do we go from here? And we want to continue to improve and offer wonderful programming to our students, K-12, and really enrich learning opportunities. The other area of focus that our Board of Education has established for the 22-23 school year is student wellness, and looking at wellness from a multifaceted perspective, social emotional health, mental health, nutritional health, bullying, and making sure that the experience that our children are having in our schools is a good one. Communications is another area of focus. My thanks to our communications assistant, Brian Marshauser, for all of his work. You've noticed the revamped website. I believe you have seen the new revamped newsletter. Brian was the architect of that newsletter and the layout and the design, and it's absolutely a beautiful document, and the analytics that we get from the platform is really helpful, so to help us know what matters most to our community in reading the newsletter. So that's a great resource for us. Fiscal responsibility certainly is an area of focus for our board, and certainly cultural awareness and equity and continuing that work is a priority for our board and for our district and for me. We talked about this idea, the opening day, and I'll close with this. Opening day with staff took place just the day after the Board of Education meeting, and I think the board members who were in attendance. And I posed a question to our staff after sharing a quote. And the quote was, "I just want things to go back to normal." And I asked them who the author of that quote was. And the correct answer, which many guessed, was everyone. Everyone at some point has said those words. And then I challenged our staff with two questions. What is normal, and is normal good enough? So after we had a conversation about normal, we had a really powerful message on whether normal was good enough. And what I shared with our staff is that normal's not good enough for this year. We need to be better than normal. We need to be at our best for our students. And I believe our faculty and staff are committed, and they're all in to being their best for our students and for each other. And so I will leave our community, I'll leave our board with that message. Is normal good enough? And here in Yorktown, no, it's not. Normal's not good enough. We need to be our very best, and we look forward to our very best 22-23 school year. That's the extent of what I was going to share this evening, but if there are any questions, obviously, I'm happy to take them.
I actually do have a question for you, and that's, I know the facilities department was reconfiguring some rooms in Brookside and Mohansick because we have space issues. What does that look like, and what are our options?
Space continues to be something that we're working through, and that's not easy for us. We are at our capacity. For the first time in recent memory, each of our elementary schools is over 500 students. That's a large number in any circumstance given the size of our buildings, but it's an even larger number when we dig a little deeper with regard to the needs of our students and our programming. We have great programming. We have some wonderful offerings to our students, K-5. And at this point, we do have music on a stage at Mohansick. We do have some classes where if I wanted to add a section, we don't have the room at this point to add sections. So space continues to be something that we're working through, that we're looking at, and it's something that We began the conversation last spring in looking at when Mr. Tazi came to speak to us. We began that conversation, and I look forward to continuing that conversation because space is a very real consideration for us, especially as we move forward. We continue to enroll new students, and we love it. We absolutely love the fact that so many people want to come to school here in our district, in such a great district, but it certainly is something that we're seeing when it comes to space. Our limitations are growing when it comes to space.
So that is part of, one of the board goals, that we are going to try to address that or come up with options?
Yes, and I thank you for that.
Thank you, okay. Did anybody else have any other questions? Okay. We're going to go on to board reports, and I do realize that we did them last meeting, but we do them at our business meetings, and because in September we only have one meeting, we're doing them again this month. So if you have nothing to report, that's fine too. So we'll start with policy. Cheryl?
Sure. Yeah, I have, we haven't met since our last update, so I really have nothing to report, other than we do have set our meeting dates for September 13th. Tomorrow will be our regular policy meeting, and on September 29th, we will be working through our code of conduct, and that meeting will be dedicated to that document.
Thank you. Audit, Rashmi?
The audit committee, we have a meeting coming up at the end of the month, end of September. The committee is meeting with the external auditors to review a draft of their external audit report and the financials. And then we hope to have them present to the board, hopefully at the October meeting, before it gets all finalized.
Which October meeting, do you know?
Sorry?
Which October meeting?
I believe they're scheduled for the 3rd.
Thank you.
Yep. The audit committee comprises of Lisa, Peter, myself, so we're also looking for a community member to serve on the committee till the end of the school year. So for anyone that has a background in finance or business or accounting, it's a great way to get involved and help out. We generally meet about 4 to 8 evening meetings throughout the year, including the summer. And we look at reports, we look at financials. That's generally what we do. So if anyone is interested, the process for applying is going to be on our website soon. So just be on the lookout for that. That's all.
Thank you.
I just want to say that it's 4 to 8 meetings, not 48 meetings.
Thank you, Lisa.
Good steering. Mike, fiscal advisory.
So fiscal advisory hasn't met since the last meeting. However, we are working with the administration on a budget timeline and scheduling of fiscal advisory meetings throughout that process for various check-ins. So we should have that in place by our next meeting.
Terrific. And as far as steering goes, we are still working on completing this past summer's work, and we want to thank the community for their patience as we get the air temperatures in the right positions. I know Crampon still does not have its air turned on, is that correct?
Yes, they were completing the work today, partially into tomorrow. There were some supply chain
Yeah.
issues. We weren't immune to the supply chain issues, and what I didn't realize was the software and the chips to set the thermostats remotely was something that was delayed as well. But despite all of those items, we are just so pleased to be in the final stages of completion. The cafeteria, historically in September, has been a very humid and uncomfortable location for our students. It's been quite the opposite of late, and that's been helpful. Middle school gym, similarly, has been quite the opposite of late, and feedback is increasingly positive. It was a little chilly, and I shared this with our community in the newsletter. It was a little chilly in the Mohansick Gymnasium, Mohansick Cafeteria, Brookside Gymnasium. Those adjustments have been made. I believe the controls have been finalized, and the temperatures are more regulated
Right.
at this point.
And it will take several weeks for the temperatures to actually finally just settle to where they need to be in the buildings, correct? Okay. So those are our board reports. Going to go to board action items. Can I have a motion to approve the August 29th, 2022 board meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye opposed? Can I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report for June 2022?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And can I have a motion to approve the extra classroom activity report for June 2022?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye opposed? We have a board appointment. Be it resolved that the Board of Education appoints Denise Zapata as a deputy district treasurer for the 22-23 school year at no additional compensation to replace Joanna Duarte, who retired effective September 12, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye opposed? Can I have a motion to approve the second reading and adoption of the following policies? We have 6420 online banking services, 6500 bonded employee officers, 6610 reserve funds, and 6680 internal audit function.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A resolution be resolved that the board hereby authorizes the superintendent to execute the revised July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2022 terms and conditions of employment agreement for the district support group as presented to the board at this meeting. A copy of said agreement shall be incorporated by reference within the minutes of this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Personnel, upon recommendation of the superintendent, a motion that the following be approved. We have under certified personnel appointments, a revised appointment, part-time appointments, AIS appointments, change in hours, other compensation, we have extra duty, and we have several resignations. Under classified personnel, we have appointments for civil service and a correction.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Business office. A motion to amend coding for the previously approved budget transfer on August 29th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to accept the internal auditor's risk assessment report for the year ended June 30th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? An allowance disbursement, a motion to accept the following allowance disbursement from Healy Electric for summer 2022 district-wide improvement project. This is for, well, it says for Healy Electric, for cafeteria lighting, exit lighting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Special ed, a motion to arrange the following placements as of September 12th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Gifts, grants, and donations, a motion to accept with gratitude the following gifts, grants, and donations. $1,400 from the parents of the varsity cheer team to help cover the cost of the Pine Forest Cheer Camp.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're up to board comments. Peter?
I got nothing.
You got nothing. Mike?
Just want to welcome everybody back, students in particular, to hopefully what is going to be a wonderful school year. And I actually had a question for Dr. Hatter. At our last meeting, you had mentioned a potential pilot program with a bus company, I believe. Just wondering what the status of that is.
Sure. Thank you for that. So Bird Bus was approved, I believe, by the town to occupy the vacant Kia dealership on Route 202. There was some news on that. With regard to the actual application for the school district to consider, we haven't been provided the actual application. There is an application that does not reference the school posted to the Westchester County IDA website, which anyone in the community is able to go on to the Westchester County IDA website to view the application. However, once we receive anything that's specific to the school, I'll be sure to share that with the board for consideration.
I'm
Ashley?
good, thanks.
Cheryl?
Yeah, I just wanted to say welcome back to everyone. And we had a great night Friday night. It was a great football game. We had a great crowd out there. And we had a nice night honoring our first responders. So again, thank you to them. Thank you for that, to everyone for coming out that night. It was really an enjoyable night, and we were happy to honor our first responders who are always there for us.
Lisa?
I just echo Cheryl's comments. So welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, welcome back. And we had a wonderful football game, but there are athletics all over our campus right now. They're crawling all over. So anybody who wants to see something really good and happy, go and see one of our teams play somewhere. It's always a great game. And And again, I want to reiterate how much I appreciate our communications now. It is one of our goals, and it is really, our website is better. I just went on the app, which hasn't worked in I don't know how many years. I found what I needed, so thank you, Brian. The newsletter was great. I just think it's great for parents and anybody. And so the newsletter itself, I know that it went out to parents. How does the community get a hold of that?
So the newsletter is available on our website, and our mailing list goes beyond parents and guardians. There are community groups, and you can register for our websites you can register for our newsletters on our website to receive the communications. So anyone who goes onto our website, but also we have members of the community who don't necessarily have children in the community, or organizations in the community who do receive copies of our newsletters.
So if somebody goes on the website, they can easily find out where they can sign up to be on that mailing list, that email
Yes,
list?
the newsletter's all available to them.
Terrific. All right, thank you. That's all I have. Ron, Lisa, Deirdre, anything? No? We're going to do last public comment. Nobody signed up, so can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye opposed? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.